Why would I do a review of the Google Pixel 9a in my boring studio when I could do it?
Here, we've got the Pixel 9a sent to us from Google, and been spending some time with the Pixel 9a with my friend Shannon Morse.
Hi!
And we are in Colorado. Where are we in Colorado right now?
We are at Garden of the Gods, one of the most beautiful places in Colorado to come visit, and we thought it was the perfect place to check out the Pixel 9a.
That's right. Put it through its paces, wander around all of these beautiful rock formations. You
So
can see
pretty.
just some of them behind us. And we're actually going to give away one of these Pixel 9a devices to one of you. So you want to stick around to the end of the video to find out how you can get in on that action. I'm going to review this device. Before we get there, just quick disclaimer, Google did send this device to us for this review. They have no editorial input. Without further ado, let's get into the review.
Let's start with the design, and right away you can see this is just a beautiful device. It's the peony color, which I think is the prettiest and probably most vibrant color in the pack. Aluminum flat sides, which really do feel nice and high quality in the hand, but we really got to talk about the rear. It's a plastic panel, which I actually don't have a problem with the plastic panel. It's pretty standard for the A series, but you can see up at the top, that camera bump, the signature Pixel camera bump is gone. Instead, we've got an inset camera that Google says, you know, they were able to pull it off, so they decided why not. And I think in the process, it just kind of removes a little bit of the signature quality of the Pixel that's been there for a number of years now. If it wasn't a Pixel, I'd say great, but honestly, because it is, I really do miss the camera bar. Other than that, I love that this finally has IP68 rating. It's a great upgrade from the 8A last year. Around the front, you got the 6.3-inch Actua Display, which always just looks so nice. 120 hertz, very smooth. You got super colorful and rich content on that display. It's also very bright, 2,700 nits of peak brightness. And being outside, I mean, it's solidly bright. When you're inside, say in a dark room at max brightness, my goodness, this feels like a dang flashlight. But the bezels around the display, they're uniform. That's a great upgrade from the 8A, where it had a little bit of a chin. Ultimately, I'm very happy with the display. If I could take you inside, I'd show you the Tensor G4 hiding underneath all those layers. It's got 8 gigs of RAM on the 9A, and then of course, you know, storage 128 gigs, 256 gigs, depending on the variant that you buy. What you won't find in their stats is a vapor chamber, which is a first for the A series, and it was revealed in a leaked teardown ahead of release. Nice to know that's there. I actually played an hour of Genshin Impact at the airport on my way home from Colorado, and I gotta say the device stayed pretty cool during playback. No noticeable slowdowns either while I was playing the game. Overall, on the OS level as well, everything felt very smooth. Launching apps, no slowdowns. It was really nice, but that lower RAM does have some serious trade-offs. And those trade-offs come in the way of software. Gemini Nano 1.0 XXS. Now, I reached out to Google to confirm that this is the same model that was rolled out to Pixel 8a last year, a little bit on the later side as a developer preview. Google did tell me that yes, they are the same. And those trade-offs are the fact that you don't have the Pixel Screenshots app, you don't have call notes, and then there was a question about scam detection on the device. I reached out to Google and they confirmed that there is not support for scam detection in the dialing app, but there is scam detection in Google Messages. So at least there's that. My 9A does have the brand new Gemini Live features that allow for camera and screen share into Gemini Live. I actually used camera share to talk about my Oberheim Matrix 1000 synthesizer.
I would like to know when that was made and a couple of artists that used that synthesizer.
The Oberheim Matrix 1000 was released in 1988. A few artists known to have used it are Vince Clarke of Erasure and electronic music pioneer Aphex Twin.
And then I tried the screen share to identify a city.
What city is that up at the top?
That's a cool shot of Beijing.
It did well in both of those instances. I could only share full screen, though it did tell me that I couldn't select a single app. Maybe that'll come in the future. And of course, you get other AI features, circle to search, call assist, that sort of stuff. This is Android 15, 7 years of OS and security updates, pretty standard for Google, and amazing on a device that costs only $499. Overall, I'm a fan of what Google's doing with the Pixel launcher and their software support. Now we got to talk about the cameras, and there are some notable upgrades, no question about it. Now Shannon Morse and I did a big camera test on her channel. Just do a search for Shannon Morse and you can check that out. We went to Meow Wolf in Denver. We also went to Garden of the Gods the next day in Colorado. What a beautiful place to test out the cameras. And the biggest upgrade is, of course, the main camera. It's a 40 megapixel wide optical image and electronic image stabilization on board. It has an improved f1.7 aperture. That ultimately means more light coming in on that larger sensor. And like I said, at Meow Wolf, where you get a lot of low light rooms and very punchy, beautiful colors everywhere and a lot of detail, performance was pretty fantastic. We also had the opportunity to really test out the new macro focus mode that's included. Results there looked great. Now, the ultra wide that's on the device is unchanged from the 8A, and by the way, unchanged from the 7A as well, so it's a little long in the tooth. 13 megapixel f2.2 aperture. Performed pretty well in low light. We did notice some grain here and there. Also, of course, you end up with a smaller image. Definitely, I think this is the lens to improve next time around, and I hope Google does that. And then, of course, on the front, we've got the selfie camera. That's unchanged as well. Looks fine. Portrait mode did okay. Little bits of, things that you could detect around the edges of our heads with the background, that sort of stuff. But honestly, the lenses on the other side have a better aperture anyways, so you can kind of get natural bokeh if you play your cards right. And then finally, the battery. This is a 5100 milliamp hour battery, the most on a Pixel ever, and it's on the A series device. Imagine that. And I tested this by streaming 4K video at max brightness for 8 hours. It knocked it down from 100% to 20% in those 8 hours. 4K video streaming from YouTube, not bad. But I should mention, Google has announced a new battery health assistance feature, and it's arriving first on the Pixel 9a. It limits battery voltage over time to keep it healthy. That means lower capacity as it ages, kind of tapered off over time. But that's to kind of save you, ultimately. And that is coming to other models too. It's not only isolated to the 9a.
All right, now we've almost reached the end, but we do have to tell you a little bit about how you can win one of these Pixel 9a's.
Different color. We're not going to give you this one.
Doesn't have to be peony.
Yeah, he has to hold on to this one for all his reviewing and photos and everything. That's right. But we will have a different color available to one lucky winner. All you have to do is go over to our Versus video over on my channel. And of course, this video that you're currently watching, make sure to comment on each of those videos with your favorite feature, your favorite new perk of the Pixel 9a. Don't forget to subscribe on both of the channels so that you hear the notification about the winner, obviously.
That's right.
And click the little link down below. We'll pin a comment and put it in the description so you can easily find it. All you have to do is click on that link, put in your email address so we can contact you, get shipping information, and make sure to put in your YouTube username. And that's it. That's all you have to do.
We do limit this to US only. Yes. I apologize, but it's a shipping thing.
Shipping is a little crazy now.
A little crazy right now, but we want to give you one of these devices, and so we're making it work a little bit. So do all those things. Can't wait to find out who won. Thank you, Shannon.
Thank you
for being here with me. This has been a lot of fun.
You have 1 week to enter. April 18th, I think, is going to be our cutoff, and Jason is going to announce it right here on this channel.
That's right. So stay subscribed, and without further ado, let's jump back to my studio for my verdict right now. That's right, I'm back in my boring studio, but I did bring with me the Pixel 9a to give you my verdict. I'd say big thumbs up on the main camera lens improvement. I feel like it's a really big upgrade from last year, and you really notice the differences. But that ultra wide is now pretty long in the tooth. It's like 3 years old at this point. It could stand to be upgraded, maybe next year. Price and value, always a big thumbs up from me when it comes to Google's A series. $499 still, year after year, you get a lot for that cost. But a little bit on the downside is the design change. I think that the removal of the camera bar just kind of impacts the signature quality of Pixel design, and this just lacks a little personality as a result. I think the artificial intelligence tied to the lower RAM of 8 gigs of RAM in device, those are a few trade-offs that we're gonna see over time how much that really impacts, though you do get a lot out of the box for this. And then, speaking of longevity, Google's update promise makes this hard to pass up. You get 7 years,
$499. Overall, Google's A series is always a solid mid-range choice. Now, you have to compare it against the Pixel 9, which is only $300 more. What do you get for that? Victus 2 protection on the glass on the front and the back. You get 12 gigs of RAM instead of 8, millimeter wave and Wi-Fi 7 support. You also happen to get a smaller 4700 milliamp hour battery than the one that you get in the 9A. And I think when you put it that way, the 9A is even more of a bargain. What do you think? Drop a comment down below. Don't forget to enter the contest to win one of these bad boys. And thank you so much for watching this review. I'm Jason Howell. Thank you. We'll see you next time.